Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Comic Reviews. I am Super2, and I always gotta fiddle with this right at the beginning, otherwise I'm gonna completely forget about it. But I got a voice actor for that intro, and I'm gonna keep using it, no matter if I'm doing this live or what. So anyway, now that that part's over with, and I've completely killed all momentum for new viewers, welcome to this week's episode of Comic Reviews. We got a pretty good size stack to get through today. I don't actually think anyone's going to be watching this live, so I'm not going to really delay at all like I normally do. Cap's got a show this week, or going on right now, a live show, so I'm probably not on many people's radar. I don't imagine all my regulars will be showing up. But we got a thick-ass stack of comics. Like, I could kill someone slapping them with this. So what do we have to talk about? Well, the last thing we're going to be talking about is Wonder Woman number 24. And I should say, for any new viewers, if you do exist, there are links in the description, timestamps that will take you to whatever book I happen to be talking about. So last thing we're going to talk about is Wonder Woman number 24 by Greg Ruka. Martian Manhunter and Marvin the Martian. Secret Empire, number 4. The Legion of Superheroes, Bugs Bunny. Sam Wilson, Captain America, number 23. Kingpin, number 5. Predator vs. Judge Dredd vs. Aliens, number 4. Venom, number 151. And then the first thing we're going to be talking about is Green Lantern Planet of the Apes, number 5. So, there's the list. Check out the timestamps in the description. And let's go ahead and get started with Green Lantern Planet of the Apes, number 5. So, again, I continue to think this is just a really silly idea for a story, and I don't think it was something that I ever would have asked for. Kind of predictably, but in somewhat of a fun way, Gorilla Grodd is trying to take over everyone, and this whole issue is basically a back and forth struggle with Grodd trying to possess people. That's cool. You know, it's whatever. He keeps trying to get the ring from Cornelius, and this whole issue is just basically about everything Grodd's trying to do that. And then at the very end, he's defeated, but we still have Sinestro to deal with. That's the big reveal at the end, is Sinestro finally shows up, and he's going to be the main villain for the final issue. And he's, of course, the one that started all this. Cool. Whatever. Still a bad idea for a story. Still not a good plan of the Apes story. There's no commentary on the Planet of the Apes thing. Like, this really could just be any random alien world, to be honest. Hal at one point says something about how he's sorry that, you know, his universe has used the Planet of the Apes planet as a dumping ground, first with the ring and then with fucking Grodd. Whatever that means. There's no commentary connected to the Planet of the Apes on any of it. Like, it's a pretty subpar standard Planet of the Apes story, or Green Lantern story. It's a really bad Planet of the Apes story where I don't think that the person who wrote this really understood the point of Planet of the Apes. I think anyone, again, I keep saying this, I think anyone that writes a sequel to Planet of the Apes doesn't understand the point of Planet of the Apes. Yes, that includes the new movies, but just seriously, it doesn't have to be the Planet of the Apes. It could be literally any alien planet. This doesn't have to be a crossover. This is just a very basic story for a Green Lantern story that's pretty trite and pretty cliche. So I continue to be disappointed by it. I'm reading this for you guys. I hope my reaction of thinking it's pretty subpar is enough for you. How's the art? Not particularly good. Not an eyesore, but I don't know. Some of it just doesn't quite work for me. It kind of, there's a lot of blurriness to it. It doesn't quite look like polished. Doesn't look sharp enough. Like Guy Gardner's face here just looks like it was done with like smudged pencils or something. I don't know. Not a fan of the art. I just have nothing to say that I've not already said. So yeah. I'm sure everyone was shocked this wasn't the greatest comic book of all time. Though, one more issue to go. It could still be. So I'm moving on to Venom, number 151. Let's talk about this cover. That's a cool cover. That is a fun and engaging cover. And when I was a child, I really liked Venom. If I had walked into my comic shop and saw that cover, I would have picked up that book. That would have been a comic book I bought as a child. With the way the last issue ended, and the actual story part that matters with the last issue, not all the other crap they gave us. The way the last issue ended, we had this really dark thing going on. Everyone say hi to Haley. We had this really dark, twisted thing happen with Eddie. I mean, the symbiote took over and killed a priest. That's freaky. That is like legit scary. And he's dealing with that in the beginning of this issue. And there's a lot of talk of the there's still a lot of the metaphor allegory for abusive, toxic relationships in here. And that's really cool. And somehow that becomes, let me read the last paragraph. They do not belong in the new world that is about to be born, the world where you, my people, will crush the mammals beneath our feet and between our jaws. The world that Stegron, the dinosaur man, will bring bore in blood and terror. Like, one of these things does not fit. This is so totally not what has been interesting about this book. Like, don't get me wrong, dinosaur men trying to take over the world, I'm all on board for that pretty much any time. If there is a cult of people planning to make themselves into dinosaur men and then take over the world, you know, sign me up. I am all down for that. Not only do I get to help take over the world, I get to be a dinosaur man. It's all good. Not really. Dinosaur sex is disgusting. But like, the thing that has been interesting about this book is its parallels and its commentary on abusive relationships, not its super comic booky stuff. Like, it's had some pretty over the top things in terms of comics, but like nothing, you know, extravagant or as kooky as dinosaur men living underground trying to take over the world. It hasn't had anything like that. And like, it kind of really forces itself to get there. And I don't know, this is just a weird direction for the story to go in. Like, that doesn't fit with the ending of last issue whatsoever. I don't know what's happening. Like, when this book started, I was like, yes, finally, someone's writing Venom as a bad guy, and it's going to be good. What happened? What is this? It feels like Mike Costa left was like typing a script, was like, Eddie leaves the hospital room where the unconscious priest that the Venom symbiote attacked is trying to recover from a coma. He is distraught and doesn't know what to do when suddenly he hears something from another room. And then like he walked away from the computer, and then like a 10-year-old came in and started clicking away. It's like, and then a dinosaur cult came in, and it's just like what is this direction? Weird ass book. Moving right along. Predator versus Judge Dredd versus Aliens. Number 4. Y'all remember this? This book that I've been talking about for months and months now. It took quite a while to get here. For 4 issues, that's excuse me, I'm tired. I was up till 2 a.m. last night talking to Steve because we hadn't talked in like close to a month. Of course, we talked about Dark Knight Rises for a good hour of that. Anyway, so like this book has taken a really long time to get to its conclusion of 4 issues. Like a really long time to get 4 issues. It's kind of ridiculous. Usually that tends to be the artist, and you know, the art's pretty good. No lie. It's kind of interesting. An alien queen that's got like a spider look to her. Or technically it's a him right now. That's cool. There's some unique and interesting ideas kind of shown here via the art. I've got to find the one, because we see, yeah, I mean, they're certainly having fun with the xenomorph biology. That's an elephant xenomorph. Elephant man xenomorph hybrid. That's cool, I guess. But like, it's still weird. This is still a strange thing, correct? And like the alien queen's part spider because the guy that made all the human hybrids made himself part spider and then gave himself the injection to become the queen. Hi, Manos. Thank you for your congratulations. Oh, thank everyone for the congratulations on the wedding. I'm so not used to jewelry. It feels weird on my hand. Anyway, this is just weird. And I've never seen an alien queen talk. That's also odd. This is just the strangest thing. Like, just the strangest in so many ways. I do not know what to make of this series. This feels like the most 90s thing I could ever have imagined. This just screams the 90s to me in a really funny way. And it's bizarre, guys. There's another look at Elephant Alien. You know, just what is this life? Why is this a thing? Why are there alien, animal, human hybrids? Like, it feels like an excuse for action figures, doesn't it? Like, that just feels like an excuse to make action figures. I don't know. It's pretty freaking silly, kooky, weird, whatever. It's not, like, bad. It's pretty typical story, all things considered. Judge Dredd and the Predators team up and they go and hunt down the alien hive and blow it up to get away at the end. Yay, the day is saved. The Predator goes off back to space. That's the story. His partner uses her telepathy to, you know, kind of understand where the alien queen is. I mean, that's a cool page. Again, I like that. It looks really neat. They even put it in like this kind of look on the back. But this is so silly. It's just goofy. Ugh. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Kingpin, number 5. I'm so confused by this because, like, the issue is pretty good and it has some interesting stuff going on in it, and it continues to show Sarah, the reporter's like descent into the world of Wilson Fisk, and that's paralleled quite nicely with her, you know, problem with alcohol. And there's like a lot at stake going around here with a fighter that she follows and has a relationship with, whether or not he's going to throw a fight, and he decides not to. And he's like, oh no, I'll be fine. I'll come over to your house later. It'll be fine, I promise. And she has this moment where she's waiting up all night. She says, fuck you, Wilson Fisk, at 11:30. Fuck you, Orlando Perez, at 1:24 in the morning. And then at 3:25, finally, and fuck you, Sarah Dewey, to herself. And that's a really interesting place, and I want to see where her relationship with Wilson goes at this point. And then we skip ahead 6 months, and she's finished the book. And then it says end. And I checked solicitations. There's not another issue scheduled. I think this may have been a 5-issue miniseries. I'm not wrong. That feels like a really abrupt ending. Like, I guess the point is that, like, there's this whole exchange with Tombstone and her and Fisk. Gotta find it. Where's it at? Crassus' Tombstone is correct. This is business, Sarah. This is how it works. So they're talking about the fact that Tombstone has tried to kill her several times, and Fisk himself. And yet now Tombstone's sitting next to Fisk at this fight and is apparently working for him. And Wilson's whole point is that's just how it works. This is business. So on some level, that's about that mirrors, or not on some level, on a very real level, that mirrors her ending where she, you know, hates Wilson, she hates herself, she hates Orlando for getting himself killed by not listening to her about throwing a fight that Wilson wants him to throw. That's all there. But how does she get to accepting that place? There's such like, it just skips 6 months and then it's apparently over. That's weird to do. That leaves a very unfinished sense to things, which is disappointing. Sam Wilson, Captain America, number 23. So I start with the last thing I read, and if you notice, Secret Empire was technically, in that sense, higher than this. I should have read this first because it takes place before Secret Empire number 4. Continues to be the problem with this book. It really doesn't matter. This is a book for, if you like Sam Wilson, you get to see Sam Wilson do some fucked up stuff. This is a book where Nick Spencer thinks he's being really clever and stuff, and it's just kind of annoying. So what happens? Sam Wilson gets them from Montana to Canada to a jet. That's seriously it. Like, there's drama and explosions and fighting along the way with dreadnoughts. That's it. Best moment in the entire thing. Sam and Misty Knight kissing. Completely pointless waste of $4. That's honestly what it was. Just a absolute waste of $4. What can you do? You know? Exasperated sigh. I just don't even care about the story. There's nothing even here to get outraged about. There's a weird continuity thing. I don't think that the artist read what he was supposed to draw very well. Joe Bennett. Everyone's with me. That is clearly Cap holding Mjolnir, right? Right? It's supposed to be the Cosmic Cube, I think. Unless, I don't know what's going on in the Marvel Universe. I don't know why Thor is on Cap's side. I don't know why Hydra Cap, of all people, would be able to grasp Mjolnir. That's bizarre. I don't know. That's like, to me, that was the most interesting part of the whole issue, besides Sam and Misty Knight kissing. Yeah. It's like Sam's written somewhat decently in this. There's some kind of sort of fun stuff where they talk about the television series Fargo. Hey, held it in the free comic book day for Secret Empire. Chris Cooper, I don't know what you mean. Oh, he held Mjolnir in the free comic book day for Secret Empire. Okay. Weird. How? What? What? Oh. Yeah, that's fucking dumb. That's just stupid. That's bad writing. That's... Thanks, Nolan and Chris, who have been, I guess, just like chilling. I didn't I completely skipped over that controversy with this book. Yeah, that's just bad writing. Like, Cap normally isn't even able to pick up Mjolnir. If I'm saying that right, wrong, and whatever. I just thanks to all the people who come here and never say anything for speaking up real quick, because like I swear I've never heard from any of y'all, so I really do appreciate that. But like, I don't know how the fuck I missed that, but that's stupid. That is like legit the dumbest thing that Nick Spencer has done in this run, and that's saying something. I don't know, like I get the sense that Nick Spencer thinks he's being clever, particularly with this like conversation he's having with the Mole Man about the television show Fargo being canceled by Hydra censors or whatever. But like, this is so useless. This is just a waste of $4. Seriously, like I read this first, and I didn't miss anything. Like you can pick this up, and like once you get to Sam and team, or once you get to the Avengers and stuff in, it's a while till you get there. Once you get to the Avengers and stuff in Alaska, Sam's just with them. Like, it's not really explained how he got him there. In the last issue, he says, yeah, I'll get you out of the country. In this issue, they're out of the fucking country. This is the journey to out of the country, and it's not interesting. It has nothing to do with anything. This continues to be a worthless book. Did something get done story-wise? Sure. Like, I guess, you know, I've been hearing this complaint about DC Rebirth a lot, that like it doesn't matter if it's well done, it's just nothing's happening issue to issue, like no story's being told. It takes like 3 issues to get the amount of plot that we normally get in 1 issue done. And yeah, sure, fair enough, whatever. But at least it's like well written, at least like there's character development and stuff and a lot of that. At least there's some interesting stuff happening. Like, say what you will about the button, it doesn't answer any questions, it just deepens them and continues on. But like at the same time, there's some interesting character interactions between Barry and Bruce. There's some really interesting stuff, in my opinion, done to continue Bruce's character and propel his story along. But this is just pointless. This is absolutely skippable in every sense. There's like nothing special about it. The art isn't very good. Like, it's not like awful by any means, but it's just like pretty standard art. Sam looks kind of weird at times, facial expression wise. I don't know. Roberts 100 says Marvel needs to check themselves and start writing good stories again that connect with one another. It is so just the story of the comic book industry. Like, it always seems to be this way. Every time one company is putting out great stories that are just hitting the mark, really knocking things out of the park, the other company is just down in the dirt and putting out some really, really, at best, passable crap. Right now, say what you will about not enough getting done in DC Rebirth. DC Rebirth is great. Everyone kind of is like, yeah, DC Rebirth is pretty fucking good. No one's raving about Marvel since Secret Wars. No one is raving about this. Like, I've got friends that are Marvel people, and no one's talking them up. I mean, I've tried to read more Marvel, but like, we have Kingpin was just fucking ended for seemingly no reason. And like that was a good book, but like I tried to read Black Panther a couple months ago, and that was just dull and seemed to not understand Black Panther. God knows what the hell Nick Spencer's doing at this point with Captain America. And like this has been the consistent problem with the Sam Wilson book, is just his story matters not at all. He has not had any significance to the plot of what the hell's going on with Steve Rogers whatsoever. It's just worthless. Continuing on, the book I have like good things to say about, Legion of Superheroes Bugs Bunny #1. So I really enjoyed this. This was fun. This had me chuckling and laughing quite a bit. I love me some Bugs Bunny. And so I got a real kick out of this. And there's a lot of just fourth wall jokes. And like one of the tropes that I just love is when things break the fourth wall. And Looney Tunes, of course, did that all the time. So it really fits here. But like, there is just so much appreciation for me when things break the fourth wall. So we have Brainiac 5 sitting here doing scans on Supergirl. And he says, she infected herself with Rigel fever, and there's nothing I can do to help her. And then there's a little asterisk for the editor's note. And it says, editor's note, Kara, asterisk, saved the Legion from Moradu, asterisk, after the Sun Eater, asterisk, fell in love with the Miracle Machine, asterisk. So the second asterisk is editor's note. Kara is Supergirl's true Kryptonian name. The third asterisk is editor's note. Mordu is a master of magical arts who forgot how to laugh. Fourth editor's note. Fourth asterisk, editor's note. The Sun Eater. Boy, there's a guy you don't want to eat. You don't want at a barbecue. Fifth asterisk, editor's note. It's a miracle I remember all this. ... Send help. That's funny. That's really funny. I love when the editors put jokes in their stuff, and they usually will do it when it's like, fourth wall breaking. And it's hard to tell if this is in the original script or if it's like actually the editor just inserting jokes into the story. Either way, it's hilarious. And then they keep running with that. It's a consistent gag. I've got to find the other one. Indeed, the first Computo went renegade and almost defeated the Legion. Editor's note. Forget it. Nope, no way. I'm out. That's great. That's just funny. I really enjoyed that. And so there's this, running gag with that. And then Computo 2 is sent to go get Superboy, but it ends up getting Bugs Bunny, who just like apparently lives in Smallville and has a carrot farm. With no exposition to why Bugs Bunny lives in Smallville. Guys, Dr. Manhattan fucked shit up. Like, for real. What the fuck did this guy do? Like, maybe it's just me. I didn't peg Dr. Manhattan as a Looney Tunes guy. But far be it from me to hold it against him. What? And like they don't even try to explain it. They just play it completely straight. Yeah, just Bugs Bunny lives in fucking Smallville. Why is that a thing? Why are you worried about this? That's just how it is. He's also got crystal-like carrots that he keeps in a box right before he is teleported away to join the Legion of Superheroes, and he's like tired and freaking out and he doesn't know what's going on when he realizes that he is in the future. And I love this. They go all the way back to like really, really classic Looney Tunes with that panel right there. That was really, really cool. Is it Chuck Jones? I think it was Chuck Jones. Chuck Jones was a big fan of that, like in his early days working at Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers, working on Looney Tunes. He would have like characters have really exaggerated, crazy facial expressions with almost no transition between them. So it'd be like the most over-the-top, exaggerated facial expression, like this one, and then it would be immediately followed by like that one when they were freaking out or whatever. So it's like it's very much in the spirit of Looney Tunes, to be honest with you. And so they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on with Bugs Bunny and why he's there, and they can't quite put their fingers on it. And so it's like, oh, let us put you in this chair. Let's put you in this chair and examine you. And he sees that it's like a really creepy looking chair, so he's trying to get out of there, and he's tricking the Legionnaires. Hold on a minute. If Brainiac says there's a chance you can save Supergirl, then you aren't going anywhere. Oh, yes, I am. No, you are not. No, I'm not. Oh, yes, you are. I'm going to stay right here. Absolutely not. You're leaving right now. It's classic Bugs Bunny. That's really fun. They had a lot of fun with this. Like I don't even friggin' know what his name is. I don't even know what this guy's name is. I'm not a Legions fan. Like he just friggin' produces a giant bone out of nowhere and throws it out the window, and the guy goes diving after it. And then you've got Lightning Lass, right? Yeah, Lightning Lass. He was like, that giant bone came out of nowhere. The rabbit must have teleport abilities. How many superpowers does he have? And then you got some motherfucker, I don't know, getting ready to fight Bugs, and he like rolls up his sleeves and just punches the shit out of him as Wonder Bugs. Yay! Cross-dressing Bugs Bunny is the best Bugs Bunny. It's absolutely the best. Phil Kelton says, Ian, why are you streaming the same time as Geekvolution? I stream every Wednesday. That's on them. They screwed up. Pretty much exactly what Roberts 100 says is why I'm streaming at the same time as Geekvolution. But anyways, I don't know. Wonder Bugs. I mean, can I just have this? Can someone, like, God, I want the original art for that panel. That's hilarious. Wonder Bunny. I like Wonder Bugs better. So it's just Bugs Bunny dealing with all this stuff, and then one of the Legion's villains come and tries to fight them, and there's like jokes about the Legion, and Bugs tries to use this opportunity to get away, and then he sees his super carrots, and he sees the Legion being defeated, and the fact that Supergirl's, you know, vulnerable, and he looks right at the, you know, reader, as it were. And he's like, logistically speaking, sometimes it's a real inconvenience having a conscience, you know? I like that. That's very Bugs Bunny. And so Bugs eats one of his super carrots and becomes Super Bugs. Takes out the bad guy. And then there's, you know, you get the cool last panel referencing Action Comics #1. That's great. And then, again, all these fourth wall jokes. No, not another homage. I like that. I really like that. And we get a lot of them in this. I mean, there's your Crisis. It's just fun. This is just really enjoyable, and the art's like, I don't know, it's really bright and vibrant, and this is just a really fun book that made me smile a lot. Like, these are just some cool images together. I had a lot of fun reading this. Now, I will say, there's a really weird thing with this, wherein we got that whole story, and Bugs gets to go back home, and the day is saved. Yada yada. Yeah, the art is really stellar for just a fun, silly comic. But here's the weird thing. Then you get a second story done in a more traditional Looney Tunes style kind of art that looks, looks like a cross between early Looney Tunes and classic, 60s comics, right? But like, it's literally the same story. There are a couple subtle things that changed, but like beat for beat, it even has the same conclusion where Superbugs gets a statue next to Superman, only when it's like the art is very different. But like it's really just the exact same story. I thought that was weird to do. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm not clued in on something. But this really does just, it feels like just a rehash to print the story right there. Maybe I'm missing out on something. Maybe I'm not getting something here. I mean, it's entirely possible, but I'm just like clueless. Could this maybe be like a reprint and then this is like an extended, updated version of that story or something? Tales of the Legions of Superheroes. Like, I don't know. This is so bizarre to me. Maybe I didn't read up enough about what this event was going to be, but like, it just doesn't feel like it's a reprint for some reason to me. It just feels like they repeated the story. I don't know. I found that really, really odd. So let's go ahead and continue on. Secret Empire, number 4. Like, do I have to talk about it? Like, I'll give it this. It's the best issue of Secret Empire yet. Still kind of confused as to why the Punisher is working with Hydra when, again, Cap is running concentration camps. Character assassination, I guess. So this starts out, and it is another of these dream sequency things where it seems that Cap now has Sam and Bucky helping him on his journey. Cool. And then it goes to Frank Castle and what his mission is to find Black Widow. And Black Widow torturing an agent of Hydra and moving around stealthily in Baltimore. And then we get into the main story, which is the Avengers and the you can talk about whatever your show, but don't make it painful if you don't have to. Yeah, I'm just not enjoying this. It's just really hard to be reading this. I feel like reading Nick Spencer's run feels like I'm watching the longest drawn out version of one of the infamous comic stories. Like, I really feel this is going to be on that list of, like, okay, Lois Lane turns black for a day. Hank Pym beats his wife. What else? What other, like, horrific thing? Wonder Woman loses all her power. Denny O'Neil's Wonder Woman run. Uh, Side note, I would love to see Denny O'Neil come back and write Wonder Woman now that he's realized how bad his run was. Regardless, like, I feel like I'm looking at that list of things. And this just feels like the longest version of that. So anyway, both the Avengers and Cap's evil Avengers, or whatever you want to call them, are on a hot pursuit to Alaska to try to sneak into Ultron's stronghold and steal the fragment of the Cosmic Cube. But they run into each other right away, get in a fight, and just when Tony and Cap are going to square off, Ultron knocks them all out. And then they all wake up inside Avengers Mansion, and they all have a conversation with Ultron. And it gets heated when Tony makes fun of Hank Pym for being so pathetic and for beating his wife. And it's really weird that Nick Spencer decided to bring up the fact that Hank Pym beat his wife, and now that is just completely and totally unforgettable about the character. One mistake years ago, and it's all any of you will ever remember me for, all you ever say about me. You think I don't hear the whispers the way you look at me when I walk into the room then again? Then again, maybe I need to give them something else to talk about. Maybe after I kill you. No, Tony is not back. He's still AI. But for all intents and purposes, this story just treats him like Tony Stark. Whatever. I'm not going to give Spencer too much crap for that. That's something that a lot of comic writers just have to put up with, is current continuity fucking with your story, because clearly he wants this to just be Tony Stark, but that doesn't work with the way the continuity is written right now. But yeah, Hank Pym makes this whole speech about how he beat his wife one time as a mistake, and he's never been able to live that down. Guess what everyone's going to remember Captain America for? Or at least Nick Spencer for? Is that an intentional thing that he put in there? Fuck if I know. And so he sends the Avengers off with the fragment of the Cosmic Cube, and not Steve. And that doesn't matter because Namor surrenders his piece of the Cosmic Cube because he can't afford war. He can't afford war with Hydra. Okay. This issue has the least number of things that piss me off. I still feel like I am reading Lois Lane turns black for a day. There, I've now removed my Superman rapes someone example with something equally as tasteless. Comic books are not the place for subtlety. They're also not the place for just blatant tastelessness. Oh, let's continue on with Martian Manhunter, Marvin the Martian. So, like, This one is weird because I did not enjoy it nearly as much as I did the other Looney Tunes issue. And it kind of makes me worried about what these will be. Because the other one is written like a very perfect blend of a Looney Tunes comic and a superhero comic. Like, it's got a lot of fourth wall breaks like Looney Tunes does, but it's still got like all the tropes and the situations of a superhero crossover comic. That's um it's multiple levels like that. Red Leader's asking me if I've read that Lois Lane issue. I've not. It's got, it feels like kind of a perfect blend. This feels like a Martian Manhunter story that like they already had, and then they just supplemented in Marvin the Martian and gave him his catchphrases, but didn't really change his character. But didn't really change the character in their story to Marvin's character. Let me make that specific. So like the plot of this issue is John receives a telepathic message while watching television from a Martian seeking help to get to Earth. So he rebuilds the machine that brought him to Earth in the hopes that maybe he'll have a brother or something, someone to share the burden of not be the last Martian anymore. And through the teleporter gate walks Marvin the Martian. But I want you to just pretend it's not Marvin the Martian and is just some random alien, okay? Because that's how it reads. And like Marvin has a lot of funny lines and stuff. He's a little clueless. He's got a little bit of his. He's got like all the things that make Marvin the Martian. Like he's got this pill that he drops into a puddle and it turns into a UFO. That's very Marvin the Martian-esque. He's even got the Illudium Q36 explosive space modulator. That and he does have his lines. Let's see if I can find some of them. You shouldn't have done that, John. You're only hurting yourself in the long run, and you're making me angry. I don't do a very good Marvin, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find some of his... Oh, because he has his catchphrases. But, like, he just wants to exterminate all of humanity because... he just wants to blow up the Earth. Yeah, there we go. Isn't that lovely? Like, he has his catchphrases, but he just doesn't feel like Marvin the Martian in particular outside of those things. Like, it's very superficially Marvin the Martian. It has a checklist of Marvin the Martian, but character-wise, it's not Marvin the Martian. Tonally, it's not Marvin the Martian. This is an alien from another universe's Mars that wants to destroy the Earth because he thinks the Earth in any dimension is bad. And he has come to John's Earth to destroy it, and John is trying to fight him. Like, John has a character arc in here and all that stuff. It's kind of cool, kind of neat. But it's just like, it doesn't feel like a Looney Tunes crossover. What is missing from this? Looniness. It's missing looniness. It's got some absurdity, some crazy level technology, but you know what? DC's already got that. And so that was disappointing. Like, this seemed like it would be more fun than it is, but it's just like, this is more a superhero story than it is a blend. So, like, it does everything wrong that the Looney Tunes, or that the Bugs Bunny Legion story did right. And that's disappointing. And then we get a backup here. And this is in Red Leader Antilles asks, has there been a good Looney Tunes crossover with DC? Yes. Read the Legion of Superheroes Bugs Bunny issue. It was fantastic. Then we get this backup that's more classic Looney Tunes. Basically, this one's not like super special or very funny at all, but it just feels more like what you would actually want. Where John like tricks Marvin into loving Earth, and that's fun. That's cool. I'm okay with that. That was like, I wish this was the story, to be honest with you. Meh. Just meh. Like it seems like it missed the opportunity here. And it seemed like the writer just had a story with John Jones that he wanted to tell, and they're like, well, we just gave him a book and that wasn't very good, so no. But we've got this Looney Tunes crossover coming up, and you want another Martian to meet John, so could you make it Marvin the Martian? And it's like, I mean, this is an interesting arc for John to go through, certainly, and stuff, but the fact that it's a crossover with Marvin the Martian kind of undermines that arc in a lot of ways, and that's weird, and it's hard not to see that's weird. Yeah, this was sadly disappointing. Like, such a cool cover too. I love the more detailed version of Marvin with all the stuff like carved into his armor, but they kept the face just black. Yeah, whatever. Let's go ahead and move on to the final book of the week, which is Wonder Woman by Greg Ruka, number 24. Greg Rucka's leaving, I think his last issue is next month or next week. No, next week after next, sorry. Yeah, I think his last issue is issue number 25. Cool, I guess. Kind of leaving me with some questions here, Greg Rucka. But he like sets up villains to be villains later on down the line, and all kinds of stuff. Cheetah kind of just confirms that she is not going to be a good guy ever again. She is going to continue to be the Cheetah. Veronica Cale isn't going to forgive Wonder Woman, or it's very possible Veronica Cale is going to continue to be a villain. Dr. Cyber is going to continue to be a villain. No one's happy Dory. Dr. Poison's still out there in this universe. A lot of doctorates in Wonder Woman's rogues gallery. Dr. Psycho, Dr. Cyber, Dr. Poison. A lot of doctorates. I've ever seen the Duck Dodgers Green Lantern episode. Yes, I love it. I don't know what creative team's coming on with next. They're gonna have an interesting challenge to work with here. Can't be any more a mistake than the Finch's run. Let me talk about the art a little bit. This is a pretty brutal book. Graphic image warning, but like, ugh, that looks not okay. Also, Wonder Woman doesn't have her lasso now. She had to leave it on Themyscira, and the whole point was she can never go back to Themyscira. No, I'm not comfortable with this. I need Wonder Woman to have the lasso of truth. But yeah, really brutal imagery in here. And Wonder Woman has to, like, hold Cheetah down and get the shit scraped out of her doing it. So, I think that just kind of shows how much she cares for Barbara Ann. But it just ends. Like, it ends with this conversation between Veronica Cale and Wonder Woman. We're never going to be friends. You understand that. I understand we could have been. I understand that you see weakness in the places where I find strength, and I understand something more. Do you? That you will always be alone, Dr. Cale. And Wonder Woman takes off and says, what now? And that's what I'm left with. What now? I don't know. Interesting discussion going on in the comments. Shia Fontana, who is apparently the writer for the DC Superhero Girls series, is going to be taking over Wonder Woman. Cool. Just generally, we need more women writing Wonder Woman. Cool. Interesting. But Roberts 100 says, here's the question. Will they pick up the reins from Greg Rucka or leave it and do her own thing? I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to. You're going to have to, at some level, deal with the Golden Lasso. I don't know what you do with the Lasso of Truth. You need to get that back. That's a weird thing for seemingly no reason to leave Wonder Woman without. I don't understand why you would take that away from her at this point in time. And I don't like that they did that. Maybe issue 25 will answer the question, or maybe that was a request that the new writer had so that they can tell their own story with that. I don't know. That's not unheard of in the comics industry. Is the reins are about to be handed over. It's like, hey, could you put in this thing because I've got a pitch that I want, or I got a story that I want to do, and I just need this one specific thing to get the conflict started there. Yeah, it's like taking away a batarang, right? Like, does Batman need batarangs to be Batman? No, but why would you say that he could never use batarangs again? Also, just generally speaking, I don't like the plot element here that Wonder Woman can never ever go back to Themyscira now. I feel like the whole thing kind of led up to Wonder Woman getting to go back to Themyscira for real. I don't know. I just that's all I got. I really don't know what else to say about it. This has got just strange decisions in it, and it definitely gives the new writer places to go. I just don't know what they're going to do with it, and I don't feel like super excited to keep reading. I don't feel like this motivates me to keep reading, and I don't feel like this is a seminal run on Wonder Woman now. Like, it's a good run on Wonder Woman. Meh. I guess just meh. So that's what I got for you. Oh, I'm tired, y'all. Do not argue with Steve Baxi about The Dark Knight Rises until 2 in the morning. What's my favorite Wonder Woman run? I thought Gail Simone's was pretty good. Everyone kind of likes that one. I do love things about the Azzarello run, even though people hate it to death. Ruka's original run, pretty good. I need to read more of her runs and stuff, but like, just this doesn't feel like it perfectly understands the character. I don't know. I don't know what else to really say. Steve did not destroy me over Rises. Thank you very much. We were arguing about whether or not the politics in Rises is the central message, or if it's used as a funnel for the message. And I think that you can view the politics in that movie as a cautionary tale, and the fact that Batman does not provide a solution to those politics is not inherently a problem, because Nolan's Batman doesn't provide a solution to a real world solution to any of the real world problems those movies have allegories for. Batman is meant to be a symbol of hope in all those films. But no, the conversation is not recorded. We were just shooting the shit. And of course, it got to Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight Rises in politics. Conversations with Steve Baxi. Roberts 100 says, I like Wonder Woman when she interacts with the DC Universe and Justice League mostly. Yeah, me too. I like seeing Wonder Woman reacting or interacting with the other characters in the DCU. Meh. I'm not going to sit here and argue about Dark Knight Rises. I just had a 2-hour discussion about that last night, so I'm good. Whatever. Wonder Woman interacting with the DC characters is always really interesting, just because she has to how do I put this? She's such a moderating force on others, and I just like that about her. She brings others down to a more rational, sane level, and I like that. She's kind of she's the DC Universe's conscience in a lot of ways, and I appreciate that about Wonder Woman. She keeps them honest. See what I did there? Hey, Shadow of Batman. Red Leader Antilles asks, favorite dinosaur? I mean, T-Rex is just the correct answer to that question. There's no debating whether or not T-Rex is the correct answer. The answer is T-Rex. That is all. Otherwise, you're just answering your second favorite. I don't know. Raptor? Dinosaur, not Velociraptor? Should there be a Wonder Woman versus Predator? For some reason, I can see them fighting in the jungle. You know, I could see that. Personally, I kind of want more of a Green Lantern versus Predator, just because of the whole space stuff. I don't know how the hell you get, like, without just kneecapping Green Lantern. I don't know how you get that story. Like, that's something I complained about with Green Lantern and Planet of the Apes, right? Is it's just the most obvious thing, just kneecap Green Lantern. But I don't know how you do that story, because the Predator, just making the Predator that powerful to be able to take on a Green Lantern is kind of ridiculous. I suppose here will be a fun thing. Okay, here's my pitch for a Green Lantern Predator crossover. It's going to be set before John's run, and it's with John Stewart, because I feel he fits the kind of target for Predator the most, and he fits the traditional role of the prey character in a Predator story. Particularly with his background in the Marine Corps and all that stuff. So it's set it like that the Predator does some kind of nefarious thing to a ship above a planet that he has chosen, very specifically chosen. The Predator sabotages a ship above a planet that he has chosen, that he knows John Stewart is going to be near. And so John Stewart has to go to this planet to save this ship that has crash landed. But the planet has a lot of naturally yellow flora, like just, our trees and stuff, because of chlorophyll, are green. But just on this planet, the chemical agents interacting in the plant life are just naturally yellow. And because this takes place before the John's run with Parallax and all that stuff, John is unable to affect yellow things with the ring. And so it's not that the ring is completely useless, it's just that it is severely handicapped in a more innovative and clever way, as opposed to I'm almost out of juice. So that would be the story for Green Lantern Predator. T-Rex is overrated. You're overrated! Let's see. There's a whole conversation about who's the mom and the dad in the Predator relationship, or in the in the Batman Superman relationship. Who's the mom and the dad? Well, Batman can take a Green Lantern down. Yeah, but not in the same way that a Predator would, right? Like, Batman's, people always say this when I get in arguments about Batman can beat anyone. They're like, oh yeah, could Batman beat the Hulk? I'm like, yes, but he wouldn't get in a fist fight with him. Yes, Batman can take down a Green Lantern, but he won't do it by, punching them really hard, except for Guy Gardner. There's more to it than that. Predator wouldn't do it in the same way that Batman would. Predator would want the hunt, would want the Green Lantern to have a fighting chance. So it wouldn't just like sneak up on them or make them blind in their sleep or something like that. Why not have the Predator have yellow light technology? Maybe I wouldn't want the Predator to have anything like a Sinestro ring. That's too much. T-Rex is very overrated. You're overrated with your earbuds in! Oh. Or the Predator could paint himself yellow. Yeah, like Frank Miller Batman. And that could certainly be a thing too. I don't know, it just seems like there's something to do with that. But I feel like you need the yellow impurity. You need that fighting chance. You know who wins? The writer of the story. Thank you, Roberts. And I'm the writer. Batman can beat anyone in the same way Reed Richards can beat most people. Prep. Yeah, pretty much. Matt, I'm really, really sorry about your ears. I shouldn't. I shouldn't. Say something really loud in the microphone! I have too much fucking fun with this. ASMR comic reviews. Yes. Yes, that needs to be a thing. Philip Kelton says, wait, was Green Lantern's weakness originally wood? Alan Scott. Yes, Alan Scott's weakness was wood. So I guess you could do Predator versus Alan Scott. The Predator is also weak to wood. I mean, if you stab him or hit him with a bat, then sure. Oh my. That's what I should do. I should do ASMR comic reviews. In this issue of Wonder Woman, she comes out of the tree on Paradise Island, and Steve Trevor is really, really worried about her, and so he runs. He runs to the light to try to help her. There's ASMR comic reviews. It'll be a new thing that will sweep YouTube and launch me to ever higher areas of popularity. Now tell me, honest, I need an honest poll. How many of you came in your pants while I was doing my little preview of the future of comic reviews in the ASMR format? I need a poll. How many of you just got hard, and how many of you legit came in your pants? Any ladies watching, how many of you just, water park in the panties? Oh. Phil Guns says, well, the first predator got killed by a log of wood. Yeah, but like anything that size and sharpness would have killed him. It wouldn't have had to just be wood. It could be a friggin' metal or concrete spike. Roberts, I got a wine and dine you for you to get your rocks off. I'll work on that. You're one of them classy bitches. Gotcha. Red Leader, you're easy. And long episode of comic reviews here. A lot of books I talked about this time. I don't know if you guys got anything else you want me to talk about. I can go for just another minute or two. Though I'm telling you, I'm gonna fall right the fuck asleep tonight. Cause like the thing is, I hadn't talked to Steve in close to a month, just because life is fucking hectic. So I was really disappointed, and that, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm recording with Steve. We're gonna just sit here and chat. And so we did for like 4 hours. Did I do Defenders? No, I don't believe I'm reading anything with Defenders. What am I looking forward to next week? You know, I never pay attention to what's coming out like on the schedule. I guess generally speaking, the next comic that I'm looking forward to is Renato Jones and Tom King's Batman, obviously. Other stuff, I'm just kind of, I'm playing it by ear, seeing what's good. The new Defenders. No, I'm not planning to really watch the television show. I mean, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. Any upcoming vids? Yeah, there's a Geeky Gentleman on a Mortal Kombat fan film being uploaded tomorrow. I actually edited it and started the render before I started the episode here. So I've got to make a thumbnail and post that. Those of you that are smart will be able to watch it tonight. Those that aren't will figure it out. What do you think of Rebirth as a whole at the moment? Thank God DC's good again. Because Marvel's fine. I enjoy Marvel. I think Marvel's got cool characters and all, but just they're not my characters. I'm a DC guy through and through, and it's just been disappointing as hell, or was disappointing as hell, when DC kind of sucked. I sat here for months just crying about how much I hated Scott Snyder's Batman run, and it's just good to have good Batman again, So I'm just glad Rebirth's good. What is Steve up to? I've not heard from him in a bit. Dude, life is just crazy for Steve right now. It's nuts. You should ask him about it. Constantine versus the Evil Dead. Constantine. Have you done a collection vid? Not in a while, and I've gotten a number of things since I did one, but the majority of my collection was featured in an episode of Geeky Gentleman. In an episode of Geeky Gentleman that was like a live show a number of years ago with myself, my friend Bobby, and that was when Bill was still on the show. It's like a 3-hour live show where we just talk about the nature of collecting and throughout show off items in our collection. And that's still got a number of the cool things I've got in my collection. But yeah, I mean, you can see some stuff back there, and like I can't even properly do things with my collection in the background like every nerd on YouTube does, because my collection is all on a wall that's right up against a window, and so it would just be blinding light into the camera. But I can just like point my webcam over there, and you can get an idea of all the stuff that I've got. Like you can see a giant Spider-Man Lego building that I made. You can see a C-3PO. There's just all kinds of stuff over there. Some custom Lego bases, comics and stuff I need to reorganize again because I'm lazy as shit. There's stuff all over that bookshelf. I really should sit down and do another collection video at some point. Maybe sometime. Oof. What was the most pissed you got during a video? When Milan was on his last episode of Geeky Gentleman. The last time Milan was ever on this channel. I was so mad in that video. It was ridiculous. Speaking of Milan, what happened to him? He became a fucking Nazi, and I don't really feel like talking to or hanging out with that guy again until he gets his shit together. The only reason I haven't blocked him is because he's gone through phases where he got into some really fucked up shit before, and I sincerely hope that he gets his head out of his ass, and I want my friend back. But right now, that dude can go jump off a fucking cliff. On the off chance that the real Milan is watching this, kick the fucking shit out of the asshole that has been taking over your life, for Christ's sakes, I want my friend back. Oh, have you considered going digital for comics? No, I don't. I don't like digital comics. Yeah, Red, that was the Geek Culture video the last time he was on. The reason I don't like digital comics is if they were less expensive for new issues, I'd probably do more of that. But the problem is you're paying full price for the same thing that you're getting in print, but you own nothing. You own absolutely nothing at that point. You own data and digital downloads and all that stuff. I mean, shit, I've got stuff on my old laptop that I paid money for, and I've just I don't transfer it over or whatever. I started reading comics. I started reading comics initially via piracy, or like single issue comics, I should say, via piracy digitally, just scrolling through it on the screen. And I still go back and do that occasionally if there's like a random issue that I have in my collection already that I don't want to go dig out and I want to see something from. I don't know. It's one of those things I just I'm not a fan of digital comics for a number of reasons. Yeah, guys, I miss Milan too. I do miss my friend. Matthew Bennett says, did he really become a Nazi? Because I always hear SJWs calling people Nazis who clearly aren't Nazis. He's deleted the videos now, but Milan posted one video whose title was, Let the Neo-Nazi Have a Say, and another video whose title was, Amy Schumer is an unfunny Jewish whore, and other videos in which he said trans people are just crazy and need to be, ignored or locked away. I don't have the patience to. I've worked with Milan on this shit before. I've dealt with this bullshit before. I'm not his fucking life raft. It's not okay. Is he legit Heil Hitler Nazi? No, he doesn't think he's a Nazi, but fuck someone who has those viewpoints. They're not my friend. Noel is like desperately trying to get me onto things that are not like very very depressing. And yeah, it is. I'm sorry, this is probably more behind the scenes drama than anyone was expecting tonight, but no one's really asked me about it on recording, so that's what I've got. And I you guys don't. I don't feel like talking about it anymore if it's all the same to you. But Noel Martinez, you're gonna be my life raft man. Yeah, I'd like a Wonder Bug or a Super Bugs action figure, Superman Bugs Bunny action figure. I'm not sure if I'd want like the super buff one or the one where it's just Bugs Bunny in like a really childish Superman costume. Maybe both. That'd be cool. Happy thoughts. Favorite cat. Favorite cat. How's married life? It's good, man. We had like a really good wedding. I was shocked. Nothing went wrong. Like photographer when we were talking to him like a week before the wedding or whatever was like, just I'll be honest with you guys. Every wedding, something goes wrong. It's just something you got to be prepared for. Don't worry about it. it's just one of those things, and nothing went wrong. Like unfortunately, Steve couldn't make it out. He was planning to come out. Something really sad happened, and he had to literally. He was on the road, and he had to turn around. That really sucked. Dexstar, yeah, it's still depressing because Dex is back right now. True. Uh, Red Lantern Dexstar is the best Red Lantern. But yeah, like, so that was the biggest disappointment. Was I was really excited to get to meet Steve in person, but life gets in the way. I understand that. And I'm not mad at him for that at all. It's one of those things where, like, I'm disappointed, but I completely understand. But otherwise, we had a perfect wedding, which is really rare. The only other, like, bad thing was that no one wanted to dance at the wedding. I think the most we had was like 15 people at the dance floor by the time we got to the reception for like one song or anything. It was like the same 5 to 10 people kept getting up to dance, and everyone else just sat there. And so that was a little unfortunate. Like, the DJ did his best and to work with the crowd, but man, that was a hard crowd to work. But otherwise, no, we had a really great wedding. It was really fun. It was great to get to hang out with friends and all that stuff. And so far, married life's been pretty good. I'm still not used to this thing on my finger. It's just me. I'm not used to jewelry. I've never worn a ring for more than like a day. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's gonna do it for this episode of Comic Reviews. If it's all the same to you guys, I'll see you next week. Hopefully, it'll be a lighter, more happy, more enjoyable end of the video. Interesting. I didn't know that. Thanks, Roberts. Anyway, everyone, thanks very much for watching. Till next time. Bye.